If you've been on the internet for a while in the last year or two, then you must be familiar with the idea of an iceberg. These types of videos have been popular on YouTube recently, and I thought, why not do one myself covering one of my favorite franchises, Five Nights at Freddy's. So, here we are. And if you somehow don't know how icebergs work, basically at the top or tip of the iceberg is full of well-known information about a franchise, and as we go further to the bottom, the more unfamiliar pieces of information we get of said franchise. All in all, I like watching these types of videos, and I'm excited to do one on this iceberg by DaGamingCore. So sit back, relax, and join me as we cover the first part of a three-part explanation of the FNAF Iceberg. Let us begin with the sky layer, the king of Five Nights at Freddy's. This phrase was quite famously exclaimed by Markiplier when he beat FNAF 1 Night 6.
Yes! Mother of God! I am the king of Five Nights at Freddy! Lucky flannel! Lucky flannel, everybody.
Though since then, this title has been put into question, as Mark couldn't complete 50-20 mode on UCN, believing an actual strategy that has existed since FNAF 1 was a glitch.
I'm not criticizing anyone else's methods for beating 20 mode, but I am of the firm belief that the trick...
Stranger danger!
Damn it, come on. The trick where you can defeat the plushie animatronics by keeping the camera on camera 2, I'm almost convinced that's a glitch and not actually a feature of the game, because what it does, my criteria for bypassing like characters like that is whether or not it defeats them through the mechanics of which they were meant to be defeated, or if it bypasses them completely. And getting around buying the plushies is removing an entire mechanic that I feel is integral to the game.
So, after UCN, people have since placed the title on either Daco or MatPat, since Daco has been 50-20 mode, which while the strategy did help him get him there, that doesn't mean it wasn't hard, as you can see with Daco's reaction to completing the task.
Oh my god! Are you kidding me?
And MatPat, because he's made many mysteries in the series less mysterious with his series trying to solve them, with varying degrees of success.
Is the purple man the phone guy?
But, as of now, the name The King of Five Nights at Freddy's is still associated with Mark and will most likely stay that way.
So I get to keep my crown upon my head, and I still, as smelly and as tarnished and as slightly sweaty as it might be, I get to keep my glorious crown and continue to call myself the King of Five Nights at Freddy's. Sorry, did I not say that right? The King! Ow.
FNAF 2 Crime Child and FNAF 1. In FNAF 1, there is a chance for the Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica posters in Cam 4A to change the 3 posters of Crime Children, with tears leaking down the poster. The Crime Children fully appeared in FNAF 2. The design that people are used to is the design used for Charlie's Spirit in the Take Cake minigame, so I assume that's the design being referred to in this intro. So technically this is the first appearance of Crime Child in the series, which not many people acknowledge. This Easter egg can be rather easy to miss, so keep your eyes out when you go look at Cam 4A and make sure you don't miss it. It's me. It's me is a repeated phrase in the FNAF series that's nearly in every FNAF game in one form or another. There are many theories on what this phrase means. For example, some believe that these are the animatronics making you see hallucination to make you connect them to the kids inside the animatronics, sort of like a Russian sleep experience we are you ending phrase type revelation. Others believe that it could be just one of the souls in Golden Freddy calling out to the main character saying that it's them inside Golden Freddy. And then there's a simple thought that it's just Golden Freddy's catchphrase, though we still don't have a concrete answer in the actual series yet, so we have to continue to speculate until then. The Fazbear Fanverse Initiative. The Fazbear Fanverse Initiative is a collaboration between Scott Cawthon and a couple of popular fan game developers to make their fan games and hardware profitable, and continue some of their series with new entries, and ports to consoles and mobile. The developers in this collaboration are Kane Carter, Phil Mord, Emil Mako, Nixon, and Genochrome. And the games they are bringing are Paco's Every, FNAF Plus, Finds Candies 4, The Joy Creation, the United Collection, and One Night at Flumpty's 3. So far we only have confirmation that One Night at Flumpty's 3 is finished, however, it hasn't been properly ported yet, which is the reason why it hasn't been released. To keep up with the developments of the official fan games, I suggest you follow these games' Game Jolts, and the creator's social media, which will be linked in the description below. The Bite of 87. The Bite of 87 was an event first told to us in FNAF 1 by Phone Guy.
They used to be allowed to walk around during the day too, but then there was the bite of 87. Yeah. It's amazing that the human body can live without the frontal lobe, you know?
Ever since then, constant speculation has spurred on about who did the bite. It was seemingly shown in FNAF 4 Fredbear biting the skull of Crying Child.
On 3, 1, 2. Was that the bite of 87?
However, this was a misdirect, as this was the bite of 83, not 87 like what was hinted during the lead-up to FNAF 4. There are so many popular choices on who could have done the bite, from Mangle, the Toy Chica, to somehow still Fredbear. For now, the bite remains a mystery of who did it. FNAF 1 takes place in 1993. In Matt Pett's first FNAF theory, through some calculations with minimum wage throughout the years within the US, and using the amount of money Mike Smith gets at the end of his week, being $120 plus 50 cents for overtime, Matt Pett deduced that FNAF 1 must take place in 1993, and since then the numbers have stuck, with some confirmation in FNAF AR's files, though these haven't been put into the game as of now. However, it still seems likely as nothing much has contradicted it. How to make FNAF not scary. How to Make FNAF Not Scary is a YouTube video series by Garrett Williamson. As the title of the series suggests, this series is about making a dark and dreary series of Finds of Freddy's not as scary with memes, funny voices, and more. Popular phrases came from this video series to become related to the characters, such as Chica screaming pizza, Pizza! Bonnie's obsession with Justin Bieber, Oh my god, Justin Bieber! And Foxy just checking up on you, making sure you're okay.
Hey dude, just wanted to let you know the pizza's ready. I'm sorry. What time?
However, Garrett seemed to have lost interest in the series after FNAF 4 and hasn't done one since, though he did help in one FNAF 6 video with a similar concept, so he still has a spot for the series at least. Fans named Golden Freddy. When Golden Freddy appeared on FNAF 1, he didn't have an associated name with him, until Markiplier put "Was that Golden Freddy?" in the title of the video when he encountered him.
Oh my god! Oh god! What the fuck? What the fuck, okay?
People who watched Mark just kept calling him Golden Freddy, as well as other YouTubers just calling him that since that was the most popular name going around in the community. Eventually, when FNAF 2 was released, the name Golden Freddy was canonized as a custom night, staying as his name. For the most part. And that's it for the first level of the iceberg, the sky. But this is only the beginning. Now we start on the actual iceberg, starting with, of course, the tip of the iceberg. Chipper and Sons Lumber Company. Chipper and Sons Lumber Company, which was released in 2013, was a game made by Scott Coughlin that follows the story of a lumber company run by Chipper. His son Tyke has to do certain objectives range from collecting a certain amount of wood, talking to other characters, building a specific thing, and playing minigames throughout the game. The game upon release was hit with mixed reviews, mostly citing that the characters didn't look natural, looking somewhat frightening and almost animatronic looking. Upon hearing this criticism, Scott Coughlin was a bit disheartened, but then he thought of an idea. He would use that criticism to make a horror game with animatronic characters and bet all on it, believing that it would be the last game he would ever make. You should know the rest of the story by now. Fans named Shadow Freddy. I asked DaGamingCore about this entry as this was one of the few I didn't remember. He said, the name Shadow Freddy wasn't officially used until FNAF World, after fans used the name. I believe he was just called Nightmare in the FNAF 2 files as well. I mostly agree with that answer, however, Shadow Freddy was definitely named that in FNAF 3's files as they were attributed to the Crumpled Freddy suit.
So as you can see on the coding, there's lots of things. Progress bar, scare cooldown, which is obviously when you get scared and the vent hallucinations start to activate and you have to clear the vents. But then you see hallucinations, and next to hallucinations you see Shadow Freddy, which again is quite weird because we know Shadow Freddy is the purple Freddy.
So if he was a fan name, it was canonized in FNAF 3. I don't know if the name Shadow Freddy was in the files of FNAF 2 or not. My friends and I tried to search for the files of the FNAF 2 decompiled to see what Shadow Freddy's image was called, but we couldn't find a decompile or anything on r/technicalfnaf. So if any of you watching know, please comment below so I could add this on with the correction video. Mangle caused the bite of 87. As I said earlier, who did the bite of A7 is mostly a mystery, though the main suspects are the toys, as after the second game, they were scrapped in exchange for the wizards, most likely because of the bite. There is not much evidence for most of the toys, as 3 of them have really small jaws and can't fully bite off a frontal lobe. However, one does have a jaw big enough to cause a lot of damage. That being Mangle. Mangle's jump scare shows her jumping down and biting onto your face, almost perfectly on where the frontal lobe would be. Not only that, but Mangle would have the motive for doing the bite. It would be her entire gimmick of being a take-apart and put-together attraction, being ripped apart by children every day, and the workers refusing to fix her. If she did have a soul in her, which she likely does, then that soul will be very angry and want revenge for the torture she's been through, thus leading her to most likely cause the bite. Though it hasn't been fully confirmed as of yet, it's almost for sure the case. FNAF World has voice acting. On May 13th, 2016, FNAF World received a massive update, simply called Update 2. Within this update, the story continues on to the abandoned Halloween area, where abandoned characters and ideas are trapped to create horrible spin-off games like Foxy Fighters, Foxy.exe, and FNAF 57, Freddy in Space. In some of these minigames, some of the characters are fully voiced.
What's this, a space shooter? Holy crap, is that my voice?
In Foxy Fighters, 6 characters have voice acting. There's Adventure Fredbear,
Voice acting? No! He's gone too far this time! You need to shut this game down!
Adventure Toy Chica,
Alright, I'm ready for action!
Adventure JJ,
Let's kick this party into high gear!
Adventure Nightmare Chica,
Sorry I'm late to the party. Fashionably late, of course.
Adventure Foxy,
Soul Dozer! I should have known it was you!
and Soul Dozer.
I wasn't fully appreciated in my last outing, but now I'm back to show you my full power!
Which is a returning boss from one of Scott's earlier games. In Foxy.exe, Witherboxy has a voice.
Be sure your step through the heart of madness.
Chica's Imagined Rainbow has a voice, as a lot of the community knows.
Welcome to my happy fun rainbow land! Let's start with something simple.
And FNAF World Update 2 was the first vocal appearance and first game appearance of Circus Baby.
The show will begin momentarily. Everyone, please stay in your seats.
A lot of voice actors here eventually got more voice roles for more characters in the series, and hopefully get more in the future. 395248. 395248 is a set of numbers that are very important to know to get the good ending in FNAF 3. You first learn this set of numbers in Clue Corridor on Night 3's Between Night cutscenes, and you must use these numbers on a couple of wall tiles in your office in the order of a phone dial.
Oh look, here's a wall. Let me just dial in my phone number. Beep boop boop beep boop boop. What? When did we jump from a point-and-click horror game to magical fantasy?
Afterwards, you start up the minigame Stage 01, in which you play as a brown hat golden Freddy move around 8 very similar looking squares with kids and spring bunnies in them. Only one more was just one crying child sitting alone in there. It also reappears in FNAF VR, this time above the vent map monitor. Once putting in the code, you receive a coin and the music from Stage 01 starts playing. One last thing about this code. If you place the code in the reverse order, it becomes the hexadecimal code for purple, the same purple that Purple Guy Sprite uses, which is a pretty neat fun fact. Endo O2 found by Daco. During a stream of FNAF 2, Daco was playing Night 6. He was trying to keep the music box wind down, but multiple animatronics stopped him from doing so, which eventually caused it to stop playing music, releasing the puppet. Daco then checked the prize corner camera again and encountered a new animatronic buddy.
Oh, what the fuck? Oh, fairy guys, look at that! Look at that, guys, did you see? What the hell's that? Did you see it? Did you see it out of the box?
No one else had encountered Endo O2 yet, and this one instance of him caused Daco to heavily theorize his abhorrent to the series, so much so they made another video about it. Though nowadays we don't have any important information about Endo O2 to this day. Even though he's made multiple appearances in the FNAF series, he doesn't have any lore relevance thus far. Original Springtrap teaser. This entry refers to the I Am Still Here teaser. This teaser was released on January 2nd, 2015, and was the first look of one of the upcoming animatronics that would be in FNAF 3. A lot of people have many different ideas of what the character was. Some said it was Golden Freddy, some says it was a Golden Foxy, and the most out of nowhere one, that the teaser showed a new lion animatronic.
with its distinctive features which differ from the animatronics we currently know. Some speculate this brand new character to possibly be a lion.
Some people guessed correctly with it being a Golden Bunny animatronic, and was soon confirmed after the trailer was released a couple weeks later. However, there was a lot of weird speculation, so much so it made one of the worst theories in the community get even worse. But that will be made into another video for later. For now, this teaser was a great teaser for the time, and even though it caused a lot of weird speculation, I still have a place in my heart for this teaser. Five Nights at, F-Boys. Five Nights at F-Boys is a series of FNAF fan games made in RPG Maker by Sable Lin and Joshua Shaw. This crude reimagining of the series covers the first 3 FNAF games, letting you play as more crude versions of the characters from the games in an RPG that doesn't take itself seriously at all. This series has made a lot of fan favorite phrases from the old days. Here are a couple lines from the series that some old FNAF fans might remember.
Are you ready for Freddy? Freddy, my fucking head is gone. Inhale my dong, enragement child. Chant a pirate, masturbate in this fucking house.
Devour my hot bird ass Freddy.
There are sadly no recent entries in the series. The entry that was gonna come out got cancelled recently, so the series is mostly something older fans will know about and will likely fall into obscurity as the series goes on, which is sad to say the least.
FNAF VHS. FNAF VHS has become a subgenre of FNAF videos at this point, with a lot of recognizable series like the Walton Files, Harmony and Horror, Mean Bears Tapes, and the series that started this trend, the FNAF VHS series by Squimpus McGrimpus, which is the main series this century goes over. The FNAF VHS series isn't like it sounds. It's a series of FNAF videos in the style of a VHS style video. However, the thing that makes this genre as recognizable and scary as it is a combination of FNAF and the analog horror genre, using a more realistic style along with the buzz of the VHS sets adds to the tension and makes the scares even scarier and real, as if they feel like they were trying to actually get you, the viewer, instead of the character in the story. Another reason that Squimpus McGrimpus series is so renowned for the more followable narrative than the original FNAF series, as Squimpus removes the unnecessary parts that FNAF 4 and its location added, and makes the story focused on the main 5 souls, the Afton family, and Charlie. The story is more about tragedy and how the souls feel trapped in these large metallic coffins that used to bring them joy, now only leaves them in eternal suffering, feeling like they could never get out.
Criminal.
That's all I'll say now, as the videos are really good and you need to see them for yourself if you haven't seen them before. The videos will be linked below. I will also recommend you check out Squimpus' other stuff, like their belts from the AU4 suits, and check out their Twitter as they had a lot of fun there. So please check them out if you're interested.
Zac U37. Zac U37 is a source filmmaker animator on YouTube with over 1 million subscribers. They are the most popular for their FNAF animations. However, unlike most other animators, Zac U37 make their own stories and doesn't follow the main FNAF lore. As of right now, their series is on Season 4 and is still going to my knowledge. Haven't seen their animations, though they look quite interesting from thumbnails I'm seeing, so probably after this video I'll binge watch the series, but for now this is all my input for this entry. FNAF 2 is a prequel. FNAF 2 was released 3 months after FNAF 1, and was advertised as a continuation of the story and characters from FNAF 1. However, it was obvious from the very start of the game that the game was a prequel, not a sequel. Bone Guy is alive despite being killed in Night 4 in the previous game and presumably being stuffed in a random suit in the back room of the FNAF 1 location. The animatronics in the back room look completely different from the original characters. And the nail in the coffin, the paycheck at the end being paid in 1987, and the newspaper behind it saying that the toys were being scrapped and the withers were being updated to become the classics in the FNAF 1 location, thus leading to the events of FNAF 1 and making FNAF 2 a prequel. The FNAF Show. The FNAF Show was a series made by Ducko that as of right now spans 2 seasons. Many episodes simply focused on interviewing one FNAF voice actor, asking them questions, having fun with them, and getting to know them more. Sometimes there are episodes of the FNAF Show that aren't interviews, making it a more variety-based series with some offshoots, like Cooking with DA Games.
Step 1, safety first. That sounded more painful than it needed to be, it's not. Oh god, okay.
Talking about FNAF movie news with Razbowski.
Animatronics, if they're done right, they could be terrifying. Or they could go the opposite way and be terrible.
Yeah.
And making theories with MatPat.
Easy questions. Could you tell me the lore of FNAF, please, in your... the whole timeline?
Sugar boy is like...
Some segments from the show have been animated by fans of the show, which would be shown off by Dr. at the end of the video, as well as some fan art.
Do you want me to go first? What do you want me to say?
I want you to say,
For now, the series is most likely on hiatus until its FNAF security breach. What we just covered was just the tip of the iceberg. However, just like a real iceberg, the top of the iceberg is just a fraction of what the rest of the iceberg is. So let's go deeper. Let's go below the surface. Sparky the Dog. Sparky the Dog was a FNAF hoax that was pretty much the first believable FNAF hoax ever. Sparky the Dog was edited into the backroom camera and was passed around the internet as a real Easter egg you could find. After it gained a big following of people believing in the hoax, the creator came out and stated that it was fake, and made a post talking about Sparky and showed what he looked like without the camera and static overlay. Even though he did mislead people, Sparky is a beloved character in the fanbase who still gets fan art, fan models, and more to this day. FNAF 2 Trailer Phone Guy Call. FNAF 2 Trailer Phone Guy Call is, as it says, only happens in the FNAF 2 trailer. The call goes like this.
Hello? Hello? Well, if you're hearing this, then chances are you've made a very poor career choice.
Some people believe this was a scrap line from the game. However, I think this would be a bit out of character for him to say, as this saying would get him fired. So I and most of the fanbase agree that this was just for the trailer. This was a good and funny line for the trailer though, and it would make the trailer worse if it wasn't there. FNAF AR skins Are Canon. FNAF AR Special Delivery is a mobile game made by the small company Illumix. One of the most infamous features from FNAF AR is the skin mechanic, where every now and then Illumix holds events that usually have multiple skins that have characters' Dawn features attributed to the event. FNAF AR is a canon game, however many have denied that the skins are canon, saying only the characters labeled as characters are canon to the series. However, Freddy Frostbear and 8-Bit Baby are classified as characters, not skins. Plus, some skins reference things that are related to the characterization and events shown from earlier games, such as Flaming Springtrap being a reference to the FNAF 3 Fire, and VR Toy Freddy, which is a reference to Toy Freddy's interest in gaming, shown in Ultimate Custom Night. Then Security Breach Fury's Rage came out, and the main enemies to the Security Breach characters were FNAF AR skins and characters, which, while the game isn't canon, it's still fascinating that the FNAF AR skins are used rather than completely random enemies like in FNAF World or Frame Space 2. At the moment, while not fully confirmed, there is more evidence saying that they are canon rather than not. Yellow Bear. Yellow Bear refers to the file name of Golden Freddy in FNAF 1. This was originally his name before fans repeatedly called him Golden Freddy. There is not much else to say here, as this refers to a very small thing found in the files of FNAF 1, and that's it. LChip is Chipper. LChip was introduced in Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator as an optional animatronic to buy at $32,000 in the Rare Finds auction. LChip was later added to UCN to promote his Mexican restaurant to William Afton in Hell. However, the important part of this entry is that LChip is a beaver animatronic, and is a direct reference to Chipper from Chipper & Sons Lumber Company. Scott mentions LChip as Chipper and refers to him as such in the interview with Daco.
I mean, I received a box of merchandise the other day, like manufacturer samples, and there's a plush toy of Chipper, well, LChip,
Yeah.
But I held that plush toy, and I was looking at LChip, and I was thinking to myself, you got merch, Chipper.
Yeah.
You were an abysmal failure, but you found your way into this merch, and here you sit with that goofy grin on your face,
LChip is similar to Chipper, and is meant to be a reference to him. That's pretty much it for the entry. Fans named the Freddles. This one is somewhat similar to Golden Freddy. The Freddles were introduced in FNAF 4 as small Freddys that appeared on the bed behind you to represent how close you were to die by the hands of Banaf Freddy. However, in FNAF 4 they didn't have a fully confirmed name. That was until fans named them the Freddles, which was later canonized in FNAF World with Move Freddles, which sent an army of Freddles to repeatedly attack the enemy. Before this, they were just called Mini Freddys, which was shown off in one of the behind-the-scenes anniversary images. The name was worse than the Freddles, and it was definitely a good change by Scott to choose the fan name over the real one. FNAF 1 Trailer Endo. In the FNAF 1 trailer, at the end, Bonnie pulls off his face to reveal his endoskeleton head underneath. However, there's something off. The endoskeleton's eyes are completely changed after Bonnie's removed his mask. They change it to black voids with a white ring and tiny red pupils. This is one of the only times these types of eyes are used, and they look quite weird with the way they are textured. I can see why they weren't used again, as it was kinda going a bit overly scary, and not as realistic as the final alternate to the Endo eyes, being the white pupils that existed on the eyes before anyways. Foxys Broken Jaw. This entry refers to the speculation people had during FNAF 1, where Foxy's jaw seemed to just flop around when Foxy ran down the hallway, and how it flopped open completely when he jump-scared you. Some of the community thought that his jaw was broken, and the reason it was broken was because Foxy did the bite of 87. Though, just looking at the start of his jump-scare animation can show that he has control of his jaw, as it's closed when it starts, not to mention the parts and service section in VR blatantly deconfirming this. So once again, it's just some old speculation that was proven wrong as the games continued. The Puppet in FNAF 1. In FNAF 2, there are between night cutscenes that you have to look through the eyes of Freddy Fazbear in the FNAF 1 pizzeria for a couple seconds before cutting out with static. Within one of these cutscenes, the puppet can be seen in front of your mask peering through the eyes of Freddy Fazbear. This confirms that the puppet was in the FNAF 1 location at one point or another, giving life to the animatronics there after they were updated from the wizards. And thus, it's very likely that the puppet followed the main crew wherever they went. But that's just some speculations right there from me. Special Strike. Special Strike is a 48-minute long SFM mini-movie that is part of the Specials SFM's animation series, created by the Hottest Dog. The Special series is about the FNAF characters going through wacky events until they are interrupted by the Shadow Army, who is controlled by the Chief, the FNAF crew's original friend, Golden Freddy. There are many twists and turns throughout this adventure, with plenty of references to other series and creators on YouTube, to make this series super entertaining and funny. If you want to watch the series, you can by following the link in the description. Watching the entire series of Special Strike and the movie-long sequel, Special Strike Rebellion, would add up to about 5 hours of content. So if you want to have some laughs and see a great series that is mostly made by one person, I would greatly suggest that you click on the link to the playlist and have fun watching. Springtrap in FNAF 1. In FNAF 3, similar to FNAF 2, there are playable between-night cutscenes where you play as one of the animatronics being led by Shadow Freddy towards the off-camera safe room. Once reaching the safe room, the animatronics error out and can't go outside. They back away and then Purple Guy comes out and tears them apart. You do this multiple times with different animatronics, but as you walk through the location you're in, if you ignore Shadow Freddy and explore on your own, you slowly realize that you are actually in the FNAF 1 location. So when you play the last Between Night cutscene and see Purple Guy get spring-locked, it means that Springtrap was locked in the FNAF 1 location's safe room for 3 years until he was released in 2023 to wreak havoc once again in Fazbear's Fright. FNAF 5 cancelled due to leaks. A teaser for this location was released on August 16, 2016. This teaser stated that this location was cancelled due to leaks. At this time, multiple leaks were going around the community. These leaks had many of the names of the main characters being revealed, many voice actor applications, and a full voice clip of Laura's song.
Why do you hide inside your walls when there is music in my halls?
At first, many people took it at face value and thought that this location was completely cancelled. However, those in the community that have been here since the early days decided to brighten the image, and got this paragraph giving more context on the cancellation.
In other news, the grand opening of Circus Baby's Pizza World has apparently been cancelled due to reported gas leaks in the building. Sources close to the establishment questioned the reports, saying that strange activities surround the area at night suggest something else is to blame. One local is quoted saying,
"Everything just stopped. There was so much excitement built around this place opening, and then they just stopped talking about it. There was only a handful of people that even got a look at the inside. Kids from here and there, making sure everything worked right, you know. I guess they weren't quite as ready as they thought they were."
A tenant from across the street claims to have witnessed a large group of cars surrounding the building during the night, and large pieces of equipment being taken out of the building under tarps. A few weeks later, the building was for sale. There is no comment yet from the local entrepreneur who financed the venture.
So Scott both trolled everyone and gave us some more lore to keep us hyped for the release of Sophistication later that year, which was a pretty smart move. FNAF 1 Funko merch. DaGamingCore stated that this entry specifically mentions that there is an famous arrow that most FNAF 1 Funko merch has, that being that the FNAF 1 crew has top teeth, whereas their actual models doesn't have these teeth. They only have bottom teeth. The only exception to this is Foxy, as he has a full set of dentures. Golden Freddy is in the kitchen. When Golden Freddy was first encountered in FNAF 1, many people were curious about where he was during regular gameplay, and one of the popular ideas was that he was in the kitchen. There was even a rumor that if you put 1987 to the custom night, start the night, and when you reach 87% power, your power would stay there until you check the kitchen camera, at which you'll see Golden Freddy in there. Afterward, your power would cut out and you get a special Golden Freddy jump scares. After these fake rumors spread across the internet, Scott used the rumors to his advantage. He added an update to the game that if you were to put in 1987 in the custom night, you would just get jump scared by Golden Freddy. Cassidy, also known as the one you should not have killed. The one you should not have killed, or Cassidy, is the main soul that controlled Golden Freddy / Fredbear. They are the reason William is being kept in purgatory or hell, because as their name states, he killed them when he should not have. Cassidy was killed in the missing children incident and was stuffed into Golden Freddy. They wanted to hunt multiple locations until being presumably burned in FNAF 3. However, since we don't see Golden Freddy in the good ending image, and know that Golden Freddy is still around by the time of FNAF AR, it seems like they would continue their search for William until every piece of him is gone from the mortal world and is turned to dust. And that does it for the first part of exploring the FNAF Iceberg created by DaGamingCore. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If there was a mistake I made on any entry, I would greatly appreciate it if you please comment down below on which entry was wrong or had any incorrect information, and tell me what I got wrong in that entry. I would also like to mention if there's a FNAF Iceberg you would like me to cover in the future, comment the iceberg's link and I may consider covering it. If you like this video, please leave a like on the video so I know that you want more of this content, and please subscribe and ring the bell so that you'll get the notification that when part 2 comes out very soon. I have a Twitter and Discord will be linked in the description where you can see more stuff from me. And with all that said, until next time friends.